Just when we thought all hope was lost, here comes good old Aaron Sorkin to save the day. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to yet another brand new movie review. Today, we're stepping away from the spooky stuff for a little bit, and we're hopping back onto Netflix to take a look at this brand new film, The Trial of the Chicago 7. Of course, written and directed by the one and only Aaron Sorkin, starring a humongously talented cast of people, and it's also a film that's gotten a lot of early Oscar buzz. Oh, I'm ready for this one. In 1969, 7 people are charged by the federal government with conspiracy and more, all arising from the protests at the 1968 Democratic National Convention in Chicago. So aside from the obvious, other than the arts and entertainment, my favorite subject growing up in school, the traditional subjects rather, has always been history. I love learning about what's happened in the world over time, how things have changed and evolved around us, and how we can fix these problems and make sure those mistakes committed in the past are not committed ever again. I love learning all those little details. So anytime a historical film pops up like this one, especially one with a writer-director like Aaron Sorkin at the helm and with a cast this stacked, an all-star f***ing cast, you can bet your ass I'm gonna be ready for this one. And guys, needless to say, this one certainly lived up to the hype. I was so intrigued by this film. I think it's a masterpiece. I'm serious. From scene one, this movie continued to blow me away. And why is that? Because it is still a socially relevant piece in God's year 2020. Even though the film takes place in the year 1969. Nice. Joking aside, we still see a lot of the shit that goes on in this movie, even still today. Especially as it goes with the police in this film. The stuff that we see is gruesome. It is frustrating to watch and certainly aggravating. I could feel my blood boiling at certain points watching this film. But here's the thing, Aaron Sorkin certainly has a way to reel his audiences in, and I was riveted from scene one. I mean, the man is already one of the best screenwriters alive. And now he's got this directorial credit to add on to Molly's Game, which came out not too long ago. Really excellent film in its own right. This film is so well shot. It's so directed. Very crisply edited, too. And I don't even need to tell you how icy sharp this dialogue is, seeing as how Aaron Sorkin's name is on it. I was really shocked to find myself actually busting up and laughing at certain points throughout this film. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Even though this is at its core a courtroom drama, there were times where Abby Hoffman, for example, played by Sacha Baron Cohen, will crack off a one-liner, or Mark Rylance as William Kunstler will make a jibe at one of his clients. And honestly, these are all jokes that make sense given the context of the narrative. I was shocked, but the film honestly does have a sense of humor about it. In some places, obviously it's not all fun and games. But the humor in this movie is something that I think a lot of people will overlook going in. Now, I was talking a little bit about these performances, and like I said, this is a star-studded cast. And that's the most mild way to put it. This is just, oh my gosh. The movie is stacked. So let's start with Mark Rylance. I already mentioned he plays the defense attorney William Kunstler, and honestly, this may be the best performance of Rylance's entire career. And keep in mind, this is a guy who already has an Oscar to his name for Bridge of Spies. He was terrific. Expect the Academy to give Rylance another nod once that time arrives. Same with Eddie Redmayne, who again, already holds an Oscar for playing Stephen Hawking in The Theory of Everything. And honestly, that was a transformative performance, but I honestly think I like this performance more. I'm serious, Redmayne transforms himself in this film. I honestly kind of forgot that it was Eddie Redmayne at some points. It's like I was watching the movie, I was just sitting there, and sometimes I had to remind myself like, oh shit, that's Newt Scamander. Sacha Baron Cohen as Abby Hoffman. Dare I say perfect casting? I think this guy deserves all the awards, all the nominations, and all the accolades for this performance. This was so excellent. He is so larger than life in this role. He commands your attention every time you see him pop up. He is a natural on screen. So awesome. This entire cast, Yahya Abdul-Mateen as Bobby Seale, of course the leader of the Black Panther Party from back in the day. Another excellent performance, so captivating to watch, especially in all the courtroom scenes, which I'll certainly talk about in a second. Jeremy Strong is here in this movie. He's really good. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is in this film also as the prosecution attorney. Another great performance from JGL this year. Michael Keaton, man oh man, I had no clue he was in this film, and he is so good. He's not in the film for very long, I'll just warn you there, so if you're expecting the Michael Keaton showcase, the moments he does have, though, are just so satisfying. The entire cast is so strong, but lastly, I gotta pull attention to Frank Langella as Judge Hoffman. Good God, I wanted to punch this guy in the mouth. How did a judge this corrupt get to be in such an honorable position? There's one character that even asks him at one point, what's the point of even having this trial if you've already made up your mind? And I was sitting there like, that's a really fantastic question. Why are we here if he's already made up his mind? Because this judge is doing whatever it takes to bring down the accused at every turn. Never in my life would I have imagined that I'd be watching a courtroom drama where the judge, the supposed authority in the room, the supposed peacemaker, the high and mighty in the room. Never in my life would I imagine that character to be an antagonist. This is a fantastic performance by Frank Langella, but this guy... Oh, this damn guy. Excellent performances, especially in these courtroom scenes. All that stuff is just so riveting to watch. Of course, this is due in part to the razor-sharp writing of Aaron Sorkin, but one thing this film has a great grasp of is how to use flashbacks. Honestly, this is something that kind of concerned me early on when they started using this technique, because it wasn't entirely clear to me at first what time we were in, and it wasn't exactly clear to me at first that they were in fact using flashbacks. But the more you see of it in this movie, this technique being used, the more you'll get used to it. And not to get too deep into spoilers or anything, which almost seems moot at this point, because if you do know the whole story of the Chicago 7, you probably know the whole plot of this movie. But I will say, genius idea to use flashbacks during these cross-examinations. That way the audience is actually following through of who's actually under oath and telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And it shows them who is actually following through with said oath. I mean, it's ingenious, guys. And I'll be damned, this is honestly one of the best movies of the entire year. No question about it. I really, honestly, thinking about it, don't have a lot of major issues with it. Super well made, super well acted, super well directed. Expect all the nominations possible for this at the Academy Awards and the Golden Globes, whatever awards show you're watching. Expect this film to be one of the headliners come awards season. I will say though, if I were to nitpick this movie, I'll tell you guys this. There are things and events that I wish Aaron Sorkin would have included towards the end of this film, and he would show us these things on screen, but instead we just get text. I mean, if that were to happen, that would give just ultimate satisfaction and gratification. I wish they would have shown a couple of those things on screen, but I'm not going to downgrade this movie for that as a whole, because the ending of this movie is one of the most inspiring endings I think I've ever seen in my life. Aaron Sorkin, you've done it, my friend. This is undisputedly one of the best films of the entire year. I'm going to give The Trial of the Chicago 7 an A+. The only other thing about this movie is that I wish I were seeing it in the cinema, just so I can give it its well-deserved standing ovation. But guys, definitely check this one out. I strongly recommend it. If you like courtroom dramas, this one should be right up your alley. Gonna warn you though, it's gonna be really aggravating to watch at times, but you will leave it inspired to make a change. This movie is on Netflix right now. I promise you guys you're not gonna regret it. Have you guys seen this film? Do you enjoy it? Do you not? Are you looking forward to seeing this movie now? I would love to hear all those thoughts all down there in the comments below, and I would love to discuss them with you further. And if you guys are enjoying this content and you guys want to see more from me, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below as hard as you possibly can. That way you guys can be the first ones to know whenever any one of my new videos premieres on the channel. And hey, if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a big fat thumbs up on your way out. I'd really appreciate that too. Guys, thank you all so much for tuning in and clicking on the video. Thank you for your support of the channel so far. It's been so awesome. Look out for more exciting content coming to the channel very soon, including 2 brand new entries into this year's Halloween playlist. Thank you so much again, y'all. With all that being said, back talk commence!